So DJI sent me the Action 3 Adventure Combo for me to try out and review, and they're not approving this video before I post it. So if this thing sucks, you're the first to know. I very much doubt it though, and after watching reviews of this little action camera, it clearly looks like a very good camera for the money. And my experience with DJI products is very good. They tend to always deliver premium quality with their products. And in this video, we're gonna see if it's the same with the Action 3. I find it quite hard to talk about the Action 3 without instantly comparing it to the GoPro Hero 11, which was launched on the same day as the Action 3. This is not a comparison video, but we will look at the differences of the GoPro Hero 11 and the Action 3 in some parts of the video. So let's talk about the build quality of the Action 3. So the first thing I noticed when doing a much satisfying unboxing is how durable it feels. It doesn't feel plastic and cheap, and as with most DJI products, it really feels premium. I really like that about this camera. It feels like it can handle a ton of beating, and yeah, an action camera should feel like this, in my opinion. So one of the buttons you are gonna use the most is the record button, and it's placed on top of the camera, same as on the GoPro Hero 11. And it's pretty stiff to press. You have to press pretty hard. Compared to the GoPro Hero 11, it's much more clickable. So I guess it's easier to misclick and accidentally start record on the GoPro because you have to press really hard on this one. So if you press the button when the camera is off, it immediately starts recording. When you shut it off, it stops. And oh boy, it's fast. And I really love this feature. So with the Adventure Combo, you get a bunch of accessories to the camera. You get a very long selfie stick with a bunch of different mounting options. So this cage comes with both the Adventure and Standard combos and works like extra protection for the camera, but it also has the ability to mount the camera vertically, which is great because the world is undeniably turning vertical. And you also get a rubber ring that fits perfectly around the lens cap, and this is for protecting the most exposed part of the camera against hits or damage. And the lens glass has a water repellent coating, which shouldn't let water stick onto the glass so easily. And I find this to work very well. And you can remove the lens cap just by twisting. This is a very good feature, and I know the GoPro Hero 11 has a similar one. If you're putting this on a drone or something, you will most likely destroy this thing once in a while. So it's good to be able to change it and not have to buy a new camera. So both the screen on the back and the front are very sharp and bright. The response of the touch is very good. And I find the menu system on this thing very easy to understand and navigate through, which is a plus, because the worst thing is standing on location, trying to find the right settings. That is also a big plus with this camera. And a really nice feature is also saving custom modes. So you can preset different settings and save it to the quick switch button. So you can use this button to quickly change between the different modes that you have saved. So let's say you have a mode for 4K 120 with the correct shutter speed, and then you have another for maybe 4K 30 with the correct shutter speed and different settings and so on. So that is also a very nice feature that you can preset and use it quickly. So the Action 3 is very fast in terms of everything, which is really nice to see. I find the battery life on the Action 3 better than the GoPro Hero 11, and the battery case that you get with the Adventure Combo is, in my opinion, one of the biggest selling points of this camera. This is such a good feature. It's very simple, but it's so good. It's similar to DJI drones. You have this little case that you put the batteries in, and then you simply just charge the case and it will charge all the batteries, and you also store the batteries in here when you are out shooting. So the case fits 3 batteries and it supports fast charging, so you can charge from 0 to 80% in just 18 minutes per battery. And this is also a very good feature because with the GoPro Hero 11 I have 3 batteries which I charge individually inside the GoPro, and this is very inconvenient. And I know GoPro has a dual charger, so DJI is definitely the winner here with the charging case. So the extreme batteries that comes with the Adventure Pack is said to deliver up to 150 minutes of continuous recording in minus 20 degrees. And I know they're pushing this kind of hard, so that's very nice for those of you that are doing skiing and stuff and are out and needs a camera that can handle very cold temperatures. And I know Peter tried to demolish this camera in one of his videos, so go check that out if you want to see how durable it is. So the magnetic clip system allows you to attach and detach the camera from various mounts or even stick it to metal surfaces. And I can imagine some people worrying about its stability if you're going to mount it on a helmet on a motocross. But thanks to the clips on each side, it hooks onto the camera. It sits very securely, and I definitely don't see this as a problem. More like a very, very big perk, because this is a big selling point, at least for me. You don't have to screw GoPro thing. I don't like that mounting system. So many points to the Action 3 for the magnetic clip system. However, the clip may not snap together immediately, so double check that it's securely in place before placing it on your helmet or if you're doing something. And the front screen is now touchscreen, which is great if you're planning to use this with the camera facing yourself. And I feel the touch function to be very responsive, as it should be 2023. So we are going to talk about the image quality, but first, there's nothing better than having coffee in a cold forest like this. If you haven't tried, you should. Okay, what about the image quality? So Sweden is very desaturated this time of year. We basically have golden hour light for the whole day, which might sound great for a content creator, but golden hour plus clouds equals high freaking ISO values and noisy footage for a couple of months. So I've had a pretty hard time trying out the colors of the Action 3. It's basically too dark for the camera to really perform well. And there are no colors more than like greens and sometimes yellows, the few times the sun is showing its face. But what I can tell is that shooting in 10-bit and D-Cine-like looks good after color grading, and you can clearly tell that it is 10-bit and the footage doesn't fall apart immediately when moving the sliders that it would have on a 8-bit footage, for example. But worth mentioning is that the 10-bit option is only available up to 60p in 4K, so you can't record 4K 120 10-bit. The image quality do, however, fall apart pretty quickly when shooting at higher ISO values, and this does not come as a shock to me, because smaller sensors like this are usually very, very sensitive to high ISOs, and this is a very common thing on action cameras and mobile phones. So I try to keep the ISO range from 100 to 400 and not go above that, because the image quality will most likely fall apart on you. But again, a small sensor like this isn't best buddies with low light. So this camera will most likely look very good if you live in a country where it's a lot of sunny days and beaches and stuff. But in Sweden during the winter, it's not the best. So I find the GoPro footage more crisp and clear if I compare them side by side, but the price tag is also heavier on the GoPro. So I guess it comes down to what you're after with your action camera. So the best possible image quality or the versatility of usage. Because I think the Action 3 is very, very nice to use in terms of everything else, but I find the GoPro footage to look more crisp. So I find the Rocksteady stabilization working really well in basically all of the different focal lengths. And with the latest update, we now have Rocksteady Plus, which crops in an extra bit on your footage, but will deliver more stabilization. But I personally don't find Rocksteady Plus that necessary for my type of shooting. The regular Rocksteady is more than enough. So I do, however, find the stabilization on slower FPS more shaky than on 60p and above. So if you're after the absolute most stability, make sure to shoot in 60p or above. So 60p up to 120 FPS works fine, but that requires more light. So I guess it's like always in videography, it's a balance game. Try to find a location with a lot of light to be able to do this, or you have to compensate and do something else. So make sure we're in a well-lit spot and you will have very good stable footage. It's my dog that you see over here, by the way. Another stabilization mode that is really cool is the horizon steady. And with this mode on, it looks like your camera is mounted on a gimbal. So recording in 4K, you can tilt the camera up to 45 degrees and the horizon will stay level. But if you're recording in 2.7K, you can rotate the camera 360 degrees and the horizon will be completely leveled, which is super cool. This, however, on the GoPro Hero 11 works in 4K, so they win this time. So I think this camera's microphone quality is what you would expect from an action camera in 2022. And I find the microphone quality to be very similar to the GoPro Hero 11. Definitely good for, like, you can hear what I'm saying, and it's good for this kind of shooting. I have the camera around, I think it's 70 centimeters from myself, and this is what it sounds like directly out of the Action 3. It's a bit windy, but not too much. Shouldn't be a problem, I hope not. And this is what it sounds like with the DJI Mic System. And this is completely wireless. So I have this, what do you call it? A transmitter, which sends the signal wirelessly to the receiver that you just connect with USB-C into the Action 3. But you have to remove the side door first, but you do that in a second. I think it's a very, very nice feature to be able to have good audio totally wireless to an action camera without the hassle of having adapters and cables and stuff. Does this sound like a good audio quality, or is it enough with the Action 3? What do you think? Let's get back. So let's try to sum things up here. Who is this camera for? I'd say it's for people that want a very stable camera that you can count on, that will do the work for you. And the GoPro is more expensive. It's bigger. The image quality is better on the GoPro in my opinion. But it's not like it's a day to night difference between the two cameras. The image quality of the DJI Action 3 looks very good, especially if you're in a well-lit area. If I would choose between the two, count everything in, like the battery case and the magnetic clip system and the compatibility with the DJI Mic System, I would choose the Action 3 if I really want something that I can count on, that is very quick to use. So for my type of usage, where the action camera features aren't really the main type of footage in my videos, maybe I'm using it for a different angle in my car when I'm doing a vlog or something, the Action 3 definitely wins here, because the convenience of using the camera is so much better than the GoPro in my opinion. But I'd say if the main footage is supposed to be an action camera, like a POV video for example, I would prefer the GoPro if I have like time for everything and charge the batteries and prepare. If you have any questions about the setup, I'll do my best to try and answer them in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this far into the video. Until next time, have a very good day and night or evening or whatever it is at your place, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.